Yo, what is going on, NFL fans? I'm Jay All Day, and in today's episode, we're going to break down all the injury reports for Week 14 for our Survivor Pool picks. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and there's a few games that I really like this week, so stay tuned for the injury breakdown. And I'm also going to go over one game where weather is a big concern, so let's get into it. You've gotten this far in your Survivor pool, so you need to know everything that's going on. So let's get into these injury reports. And there's one game that we have to look at for weather that we might want to avoid. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so they're saying Lamar Jackson is returning to practice, so he should be okay in that game against the Rams. It's not really a game I'm in on. The Rams are playing good. The Ravens are good, but I don't know if they're good enough to 100% beat the Rams, even though they are playing in the cold weather at home. And if Lamar Jackson suits up, it gives them a better chance. But unless I had a gun to my head, I'm not getting involved in this game. We have another big injury. Isaiah Pacheco has been ruled out of the game for the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. The Chiefs really need Pacheco, man, because that offense, especially with the wide receivers, they're not so good this year, man. And Pacheco has been a great change of pace guy. He runs the ball really hard. He's really, really good. I'm really impressed by him, man. He's kind of saved the Chiefs' asses a bunch this year. He's out of that game, so I like the Bills even more. But the Bills and Chiefs game, I'm not in on that game at all whatsoever. I don't want anything to do with that. All right, here's the Buccaneers and the Falcons. The Buccaneers small. Devin White is out. Cornerback Jamal Dean is out. Vita Veo is questionable. But the Falcons, this is a big, big list of guys that are out. Linebacker, D lineman, D lineman, O lineman. You win and lose NFL games in the trenches. And Falcons have a ton of guys that are hurt in the trenches. I don't like this at all whatsoever, man. I'm not touching that Buccaneers Falcons game with a 10-foot pole. Here's Rams and Ravens. The Ravens have no injury designations this week. They're getting healthy, but the Rams are also really healthy. That's another reason why I don't see a real advantage in this Rams-Ravens games, guys, so I'm out on that. Next up, we have the Lions traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. It's going to be a cold one there, 39 degrees at game time. I don't really love this game. I think this could be a trap game for the Lions, so I don't like the Lions on the road, guys. Even though they are 5-1, but they just seem like this could be a trap game. This is a game that means a lot to Justin Field and the Bears. I'm out on this game. And not too many injuries to worry about there. Then we have Colts at the Bengals. The Colts injury list, there's a bunch of guys, limited. A few guys that are out. No one of really substance that I'm super concerned about. But Tyler Boyd for the Bengals is questionable. And offensive tackle Deontay Smith. It's a personal reason, so he should be able to be ready for game time. But that's a game, the Colts and the Bengals, I want nothing to do with from a Survivor perspective. This is a coin flip game for me. I give a slight edge maybe to the Bengals because they're at home. But I'm out on that game. But man, look at this Jaguars-Browns game, guys. Wow, look at all these guys limited at practice. Corner, safety. NTN, the running back, is limited. D lineman, another running back. They're really short at the running back position this week, guys. Zay Jones is limited. Oh my gosh, look at all this. Trevor Lawrence is questionable for the game. I don't know if they play him or not. It's going to be a game time decision. His ankle is messed up, so I'm not touching this game. It should be a fun game to watch. There's a lot of playoff implications in this game between the Jaguars and the Browns, but from a Survivor pool perspective, I don't want anything to do with this at all. The injury report for the Browns is really small. I think I'm leaning towards the Browns in this game. I like Joe Flacco there. We'll see what happens. And this is my pick of the week, guys. The Panthers on the road, traveling to New Orleans in the Dome. I like that. I don't think Derek Carr is going to play. It looks like Jameis Winston's going to be the quarterback there, guys, so you have to take that into consideration. But I think Derek Carr sucks anyway, so I would much rather have Jameis Winston at the quarterback position than Derek Carr. I just hope Jameis Winston doesn't have one of those games where he throws 4 or 5 picks. But I still like the Saints as my lock of the week, guys. And their injury report is pretty thick, too. A bunch of guys did not practice. Taysom Hill, I'm not really concerned about that because he's not going to be the quarterback. I hope Chris Olave plays. It's an illness, so usually the illness designations mean the guys are still going to play. So I still like the Saints to lock it in. I also like the Texans, guys. I have seen a few of you in the comments say you have the Texans available. I love Texans in this spot. The Jets, Zach Wilson starting again. He doesn't even want to play for the Jets anymore. The Jets are a disaster, man. I love the Texans in this spot. And then we have the Vikings at the Raiders. The Vikings look healthy. They're coming off a bye, but the Raiders are also coming off a bye. Max Crosby is still really banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. So I don't like the Raiders or the Vikings in this spot. Avoid that game because the Raiders really need Max Crosby. If he's not going to play, I don't want to touch the Raiders at all. So if you're interested in that Raiders pick, I would look at the designation on Saturday before you lock in your survivor pool pick. Then we have the Seahawks at the 49ers. I like the 49ers in this spot, but I would say 95% of the people have already used the 49ers. The Seahawks are really banged up at the running back position. Geno Smith's a little bit banged up. Trey Brown's a little banged up. And then the 49ers, there's a bunch of guys that didn't practice, but Elijah Mitchell, he's a backup. Ross Dwelly, another backup. Eric Armstead, he's a guy that they want to play on Sunday, but I like the 49ers. And then we have the Bills at the Chiefs, man. Drew Tranquil, concussion, he's ruled out. Offensive lineman Donovan Smith, safety Byron Cook, and running back Isaiah Pacheco are all out for the Chiefs, guys. I wouldn't touch the Chiefs here. I wouldn't really touch this game at all. I like the Bills in this spot. I think the Bills are going to get an upset win. I might actually lay some juice on there. I got to check the odds. But the one game I want to talk to you guys about, I forgot to mention, is there's rain in the forecast for that Jaguars and Browns game. We're not touching that game anyway. I just wanted to let you know because I forgot to mention it when I was talking about them. And then we move on to the Broncos at the Chargers. The Broncos are getting a little bit healthy. The Chargers, like always, are banged up. They can't stay healthy. They don't play good. Justin Herbert doesn't have any weapons. I think the Broncos probably win this game, but I don't like it from a survivor perspective at all whatsoever. Then Eagles at the Cowboys. It looks like Zach Cunningham is going to play. Julio Jones did not practice. The Eagles are healthy-ish. There's a few cardinal rules for survivor games, guys. We stay away from bad weather, and we stay away from division rivalry games, like the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'm not touching that at all. But I do like the Dolphins in their spot. The Titans are really banged up. As you can see, a lot of people are limited and did not practice. The Titans are terrible on the road. Most people have probably used the Dolphins already, but if you have them, the Dolphins are a great spot at home to beat a terrible road team in the Titans. And then we go to Pack. Oof, look at all this. The Packers have been playing banged up for a while, guys. I don't like this. Christian Watson did not practice. He's one of Jordan Love's biggest weapons. I did like the Packers earlier in the week, but with all these injuries, man, I don't love the Packers. If you have to use the Packers, I think they beat the Giants. They're not very good, but the Giants have been playing a little bit better the last few weeks. And if Christian Watson doesn't play, it's just one less weapon Jordan Love has to attack the Giants down the field. So I'm going to stay away from that game too. And that's it. We're wrapping up Week 14 injury reports and weather. Only one real weather concern, that Jaguars-Browns game. But I hope you guys like these injury updates. Remember, we're so close to 4K, guys. So if you can subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot to me. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.